pardon us for coming into this transmission with another energy that would like to speak to all of you now around what is perhaps concerning many of you in this moment in time. And it is from the Galactic Council of of bringing in the Pleiadians, and they want to say that that this happened, this trajectory that is happening on planet Earth has happened before, and it has happened in the realm of creation and then destruction, creation and then destruction. And what we mean by that, and what they mean by that, is to not be afraid of anything that is happening in your lifetime. When you look back at your history in this planet, many of those things have happened many times before, where certain entities and energies come into play, where they are in charge, or they are in control, seemingly in control of the masses. And then what happens is the vortex of the negativity, and the vortex of the fear, and the vortex of perhaps not wanting things to be a certain way, and people pushing up against that, creates a friction. And this friction has happened many times before. And what we want to say, and what they would like to say, is to allow this energy to settle you in a way of creating and destroying at the same time. In other words, some of chaos and some of destruction feels painful, or it could feel scary, or it could feel uncertain. And that is the destruction of what was. Many of you have been asking for a better world. Many of you have been asking for enlightenment. Many of you have been asking for perhaps another way of human beings being able to treat each other, and to be able to excel and to add value in that mission, if you will. And all the light players are demonstrating how to do that, and bumping up against many different forces that are seemingly pushing up against that and resisting that. And that feels like a fight, and that feels like destruction, possibly. And what we want to remind you, and what they would like to remind you, is that when you change something, it can be feeling like a destruction. It is the letting go of what was, and of inviting and allowing what is coming next. And it is the old adage of, when one door opens, the other one closes. And it is the same analogy of many times we have talked about the trapeze. In order for you to create something different, or merge into perhaps a different modality of living, you have to let go of the old way that you're used to. It's very comfortable. However, it is very painful sometimes for many of you to let go of what you know, and what you consider safe, and what you consider how to do things. And this transition that many of you are experiencing, and that human beings are experiencing, is destroying and creating at the same time. And what we mean by that is the creation of the new. If you think about yourselves as the caterpillar, and you are transitioning and transforming into the butterfly, there is a death that occurs. There is a change that occurs. There is a destruction of what was, for something to create something new. And when you think of transformation, many of you want to be able to be transformed, or you want to be able to have everything that you desire, and you want to be able to have for lack of better terms, peace on earth. And you want to be able to move through what is happening and to know that you're making a difference in a way that is adding value. And you want to be able to create things from your passion and your ability to influence others. And what we mean by that is you are always influencing others by your actions and your behaviors and your words. And if you understand that you are, that you have a megaphone, and the megaphone that you are speaking from is reaching an impact of everyone, if you think about it in those terms, would you stop before you speak, act, or think a certain way? Would you go on the way you have been? And just for giggles, let us say that that is true. And every time you speak or every time that you act, you have influence, and it permeates everyone in your orbit and beyond. And understanding that, perhaps you might take a moment before you act, or before you speak, or before you have these thoughts of the what ifs. What if I did this, or what if I did that? And will the outcome be what I want? Many of you think in those terms. And if you shift it just a little bit and feel into, if I'm having an impact, and everything that I do and say and think has an impact, and you are not alone in that impact. You see, many of you think you are, which you are indeed, autonomous with your thoughts. However, you have an impact. If you totally believe that you are all one, and that you have heartstrings that you could pull from others, and every time that you move in space, you have an impact. If you think of that in terms of always, then would you continue acting and believing and saying the things that you say now? And so the message here from many beings that have come into this space now to honor you in this moment is to say that when you are creating something new, when transformation happens, there is an evolvement, and it can feel shaky at first, and it can feel concerning at first. And just know that all the others that have come before you have survived this in a way that has brought you to this moment in time. And you will be bringing others into this energy of human beingness in another time. It is happening. You are creating the future when you are in your present moment.